Guys, Miss Charlie here with my project pan for April into May. So this is what I use for the month of May. I did have some empties and whatnot, so I did have to pull in a few things, but we're going to go through this first and then I'll show you what I'm using for the month of May. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with the Cnutbutrbeauty hydrating mist that I used before makeup, and also to set my powders, and also to spray any shimmers or multi-chromes or anything like that. And this is where it was, and she is all the way down there, so I might just go ahead and finish this up in May because there's not much left in there, so I might just go ahead and finish this up in May. For primer, I used the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For, one of my favorite primers. It's mattifying and very smoothing. Kind of reminds you of the Becca, but it doesn't peel up. I have the Becca one, which is no longer available, but I do have a backup. That product, you have to warm it up in your fingers and just tap it, press it into your T-zone. You can't spread this all over your face like you would this, but this reminds me of it, and it smooths, and it makes my skin look so smooth and poreless. I love this primer, and I did use quite a bit. You'd only need a tiny bit of this. For my lip treatments, I use this Mika Macaron lip scrub. It's getting down there. You only need a little bit of this as well. It's poofy when you get it, make it look like it's a lot more than it is, but as I said before, my husband stuck his finger down in there and it just like deflated. But this is how much is left, and it smells so good, you just want to eat it. So you can see the before and after of that. And then this Lipstick Queen little mini balm. This is all the way down. I'm digging her out of there. It was broken and I wanted to go ahead and use it up, so I'm still kind of using it. So I'm going to continue to dig that out. So I'll probably put that over into my May as well, just to use it up. But those were my lip treatments. My eye cream, I used the Mud Masky vitamin infused eye serum. It's about down to here. There's not much left in here. It's mostly packaging. So a couple more project pans. This will be done. You only need a tiny bit of this. And again, I use eye creams before makeup and also during my evening skincare. So here's the before and after of this. My moisturizer was this Earth Harbor Nip Nectar Super Fruit Radiance Balm. Again, it looks like it's off, but it's not. It smells like candy and it just melts into the skin. A little dab will do you. It's very, very hydrating. This would be good if you have dry skin or even in the winter time, because that cold air sucks out that moisture. This would be great for that. So it's spring here where I am. The weather is going crazy. It's warm. We had like almost 80-degree weather, and then it went back down to like 40s the next day. And right now we're setting in the 50s, and then we're going to be in the 60s for the next week or so. So it's almost May, and we're still technically spring, because spring is still cooler weather, but hopefully we'll get some warmer weather soon. So a hydrating moisturizer like this may not be good for some during the humidity, in some springs and summer humidity, but if you have dry skin, you might want to try this out. So we'll show you the before and after. For my concealers, I had thrown in the Camouflage Concealer from Essence. This is in Dark Caramel. I wanted to use it up, and she's done. She's all used up. I used the rest of that. And then I threw in the Item Beauty This is their Air Hug Concealer in 350. I do have a backup of this because I guess they're no longer a brand, so I'm glad I got a backup because I really like this concealer. And as you can see, she is all gone. And then I threw in this ColourPop No Filter Concealer in Deep Dark since I used those other ones up. This still has a lot in it because I did just get it in the last couple months, and I did use it in a previous project pan, but I pulled it in since I used up those others too. And then this Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in Medium Dark. You only need a tiny bit of this, and you can see where it is and where it was and where it is now. Forgot my other concealer that I had in here, which was the Born This Way. This one is in Golden. Still a lot in there. There's a lot in there. You don't need much of this, and I just mixed them together to get my perfect shade because this is too light. But you see the weight for this one. Foundations, I used the Collab foundation. It's still up here because I didn't need very much of this, and I mixed it in this little container as I always do. I mix my foundations in here. It makes it easier to get to because it's already mixed. It's already the color that I want, so I don't have to mix it every time I do my makeup. And then of course I mix it with my LA Girl mixing pigment in blue because some of these foundations that I have in my collection run a little red and my skin is more neutral, so I have to add something in there to cool it off. So I do that and I put it in here, and I added this glow drops into it from Jessica Blanc. I'll show the before and after of this, but that would not have changed very much because I had already just mixed it in, so the weight is not going to be that different. And then this one again, it's not going to move that much because I didn't use that much. But this is a very nice glass bottle. It's got a soft feel top, and there's a lot in here. I'm going to have this for a long time. So I mixed it with this Superstay Maybelline stick, and this is in Warm Sun that I got from the Dollar Tree, and she's all the way down in there. I'm digging her out. I can probably put her in one more project pan and she'll be done. But those were my foundations. For powders, I used the Cab Translucent powder and the Becca Hydra Mist, which you cannot get anymore, but I do have a backup of it. So when they were going out, I found a backup of it at TJ Maxx, so I'll have this for a while. And that's what it looks like on the inside. It has that mesh, and it's very finely milled. As you probably saw that poof, it's very fine. It's a beautiful powder. I love it. I don't know if you can see how much is in there. There's still quite a bit in there, but there's not a lot that comes in this container, which is crazy for the price. But I got a backup. I think it was 10 bucks. I got it at TJ Maxx, so I have a backup of this. And then this translucent powder reminds me so much of Laura Mercier. It performs the same, and I'm sure this is way less than the Laura Mercier. I already have a Laura Mercier in my collection. I've gone through a couple of those and a travel size, and I also still have the travel size because I keep it for when I travel. But this was the Cab one, and it's a beautiful powder. So if you see this or get this in a boxy or now Ipsy, this is a good powder. So those were my two powders for the month. For brows, I brought in the Ioni Perfect Brow Mini Kit. This is from the dollar store. I've just about used this one up, and this one hit pan. I don't use these two. I mixed these two colors with this color that I created from the Kat Von D Monarch palette. I love that palette. That was my first neutral palette that I really wanted, and I still have it. It's no longer available. But the brown and the black in there I used to use a long time ago for my brows because they were like the perfect color. But then I started finding other powders. I've been using the Wet n Wild and whatnot to use, and I'm like, I've been using that for so long, I'm gonna go back to using the Kat Von D. So what I did was I dug out a little bit of each color, mixed them together, and then pressed them in this eyeshadow thing. You can buy these on Amazon. You can get, I think I got like 50 of them for like maybe $4 or $5. So if you want to press your own shadows and things like that, I use these quite a bit. I will have a video coming soon or on Instagram of shadows from palettes that I've decluttered, because if you haven't seen my previous declutter, I'll link it below. There's some shadows in there that I like, but I don't want the whole palette. So what I'm gonna do is pick one of those palettes and I'm gonna take out the colors that I don't want, and then I'm going to replace them with the colors that I want to keep out of them. So then I will just have one palette with all the colors that I want to keep out of those. So stay tuned for that. I took that inspiration from watching the ASMR makeup repair videos, and I'm like, that's a good idea, because then I don't have to use a bunch of these and put them in a Z palette. I can just take a palette that's already made, take all the shadows out, clean it out, and make it my own custom palette. So let me know if you want to see that, because that's something that's on my list. But that's what I did with this. Took those out, stirred them up, pressed them in here, and it's the perfect powder for my brows. So I used that. I know that was a long explanation, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to explain what I did. I also used the Benefit Brow Styler. This has a pencil at the top. No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the waxiness. When people see that, they're like, oh, is there something wrong with it? No, that's just the wax. And then the other end is a powder, and it's kind of light. So I just use this in the front of my brow. And it's a good color for me, but it just needs to be a little bit more opaque. But I use it in the front of my brow, and then I use this for the rest of my brow. I also use the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. This one is, I forgot the color this is in. It's on here. It is in a deep brown, and this is a very nice pencil. This one right here is a little more ashy. This one is a little more chocolatey. It's still cool toned, but this one is a little bit more, this one is a little bit more red. This one's a little bit more ashy. But I loved using both of them, and then this comes with a spoolie. And then the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Gel. This, I like the formula, but I don't like the brush. The brush sucks. I've said this so many times, and it's very messy. As you can see, it's messy. And this brush is, oh Lord, I might have to get rid of this, or I might, see that brush ain't doing nobody no favors. So I try to put it on as lightly as I can. I don't have a lot of brow hairs, but I put it on there, and then I comb it through with a spoolie, and it does set your brows really nicely. So what I'm thinking about doing is just cutting this open and putting it into another container so that I can use it. And I have a little spoolie that I can use with it. So that's what I'm thinking about doing, so I can get rid of that packaging, because it is so freaking messy. But these were my brow products for the month of April. For contour and bronzer, I used the Ace Beauté Ultimate Sculpt Palette. I enjoyed this very much. That's what she looks like. And I just mixed these colors. I just went dip, dip, dip. And that's all you need for one side of your face. And then dip, dip, dip in the other side of your face. And you're done. It blends out nicely. It's not too heavy where you put it on and you're just like, oh no. You can take your time and blend it out. It's very, very nice. I love it, this palette. I don't use a lot of cream contours, but I've been getting into it. But this one is very, very nice, so I used that. And then I also brought in a powder contour. This is from Pure. This was in a face palette with 2 contours and 2 highlights, and I got rid of the 2 highlights, and I do have the other contour in a Z palette, but I'm trying to get through this one. If I don't get through this by the end of the year, then I'm going to declutter it and pull out the other one. But this is a beautiful powder. Blends out absolutely stunning. Pure face products are so good. But yeah, so I'm going to try to use this up. I don't know what the name of it is. I don't even think it had the name on it on the thing, because usually I will write it on the back when I declutter or depot something, and I don't think it had that. So this I'm going to give till the end of the year, which we're not really that far from. It's almost May. Wow, this year is going by pretty fast. So this will probably be used maybe in June or July's project pan, so I can go ahead and get this out of the way. But you only need one little dip in there, and it's very pigmented, so I use that. And then for bronzer, I use this CoverGirl Full Spectrum. This is a foundation in deep neutral. I got this at the Dollar Tree. I got 3 different colors. One that I'm going to be using here for the month of May. You'll see that here in a bit as a contour because it is deeper. This one I used as a bronzer. It worked just fine. It's very finely milled. I also have this in my skin tone color for foundation that I just use as a setting powder, and I'm almost out of it, and they don't make this anymore. So I was hoping that one of these colors would have been that color when I saw them at the Dollar Tree, but unfortunately they weren't, but I can still use them. So this is my bronzer and contour. For blush and highlight, I used these e.l.f. palettes. This one is in dark, this one is in light. I've had these for a long time. They're very pigmented. They will last you forever. So if you're one of those people who like blush, want to use blush, but you don't want to get a bunch of them, just get both of these. Just get both of these. Very, very pigmented again. I just dip in once. And they're so pretty. Look at that. That's way too much. And I'll mix them. I'll dip into, 2 of them and mix them. But I've had these for a long time. I think these are still available. I'm not for sure. That was the dark one. This is the light one. I used this today for a look. So again, if you just want to have some in your collection, just get these and you'll have what you need. You have a little bit of warm ones, and then you have the cool ones. So those are the blushes that I used for April. And then for highlight, I have a warm and a cool. I have this Trestique mini highlight stick. This is in Maldives, and this is almost done, and it's like a champagne color, and I use this as a base for the Wet n Wild one. You could use that alone because it just blends in really nicely as a nice everyday subtle highlight, and it does not disturb my makeup or anything like that. It doesn't lift it or anything like that. And then I use that in conjunction with the Golden Flower Crown Wet n Wild highlighter. This one is like a goldy peach, and I'm gonna put it over the top of this. So you could have that and then put that over top, and it just looks so pretty and smooth. Their highlights are so smooth. I think I have all of these Mega Glow ones that are like this. I think I have all of them in all the colors. They also have the dual ones. I don't have any of those. And then we have this one from Sleek. This one is in Solstice. There were 2 of these. My bestie gifted this to me a while ago. This is a cream, and then these are all powder. They look very similar on the skin, very similar, but they have different undertones, which I find very, very crazy. But the cream is very, very pretty. And then I would just put this on and then go over it with one, or I would just mix them all. So I'm just gonna mix them all. I'm not for sure if this is available. I'm not even for sure if Sleek is still available. I don't think they are. But this is my warm highlight and then my cool highlight. So those are my blush highlights for April. All right, for then the last thing, well, almost last thing, is eye products, I should say. So I use a different eyeshadow palette every day, use different eyeshadows every day. So I don't put eyeshadows in my project pan. But I use the Ace Beauty eyeshadow base in Deep. Very nice, love this so much. Hey, sorry, my camera just cut off, but I think I'm gonna give this one more project pan before I retire her, and then I'll look for a backup. I got this at TJ Maxx. This is the mini. I just retired my L'Oreal Voluminous. I had bought a 2-pack of those at TJ Maxx, and I used the last one in last month's, and that one is retired. So this one I'm gonna give one more time because it reminds me of this one. They both do the same thing, but this one makes me look like I have lashes that I wish I had. But those were eye products. Then lastly, we have the Fenty Make It What It Do spray. You see where she was and where she is now. This is a very nice spray. Very nice spray. It's very finely misted, and I really enjoyed it. So I think she was still down this way when I started. I'll put a picture here. I don't think she went down that far because it is so finely. The mist is so fine. Let me put words together and make some sense. It's a very fine spray. So no, she was not up here. I think she was down here somewhere, so she hasn't really moved that much. Plus with these bubbles, it's hard to tell because when you move it around, it's bubbles. I think without the bubbles, she's about down here. Okay, so that was my setting spray for April. Now we're going to get into what I'm going to be using for the month of May. Alright guys, so this is my basket for the month of April. Got some new things in here, some things I haven't used in quite a while. But we're going to go ahead and go through this box so I can show you what I'm going to be using for the month of May. Okay, so I'm going to be using my Max Fix Plus as a spray to set my powders after I put those on, and then I'm going to bring in my Spa-scriptions Glacier Water with hyaluronic acid and glycolic acid. This I found at TJ Maxx. I've gone through, I think, 2 of these, and I found a backup. This is brand new, just open, hasn't been used yet. This works exactly like this. So if you see this in your TJ Maxx, it works exactly like this. But I will put this on before makeup and also set my powders, but I want to bring in my Fix Plus to set my powders and this before my makeup. For primer, I have the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. I've gone through one of these already. I use it all up, all the way down to the bottom. Try to open this. I used it in a project pan, but it was during the winter, which this is not good for the winter. You want to use this in the summer or spring when it's a little bit more humid. It's very blurring. It's beautiful. I love this thing. I think it comes in a bigger size, but the small size is just fine. It works just great. And you just twist it back down. You gotta put the little cap back on it so it doesn't dry out. And then there's a lot of steps, but it's worth it. So I'm using the Milk Makeup Blur Stick as my primer. For eye cream, I'm using the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base. I got this in the Ultra 21 Days. I thought this was the face base. I didn't read it, but it's the eye base, which is fine because when it came, I'm like, why is this so small? And then comes find out it's the eye base, not the face base, which is, again, fine. I've used the face base before. I really like it, but this is the eye base. It doesn't smell as good as the face base. The face base is more citrusy. This has a slight citrus, but you don't want to put, really fragrance things around your eyes because some people can get irritated with that. It has a slight citrus scent, but I like the scent of it, so it's fine. So this will be the first time I will be using the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Eye Base. I also brought in another primer. This is a hydrating primer. This is from Georgette Klinger. Can't hardly read it. I got this in a BoxyCharm. It is very moisturizing, very hydrating. So then if that milk one, if I find that it's a little too drying, then I can pull this one in as well. For my lip treatments, I brought out my Be Pure lip scrub. This is from Dollar Tree. We are getting there. It has a slight sweet scent. I really enjoy it. It has shea butter. It's got a nice grit to it. It's not too gritty, and it's not a bunch of like emollients, because some lip scrubs, when you get them, they have the scrubbies, but then when you put it on, they just disappear and melt. You want them to have that grit, that coarseness, so that it can get off that dead skin, and this is one of them. I don't know if this is still available at Dollar Tree, but I got this and the lip mask, and I enjoy them both. And I got this Bella and Argent lip balm, and this is at Hello Nude, and it's orange, and it's very, very pretty. Has no smell, has a slight tint to it, and I like a good balm. So these will be my lip treatments for May. For brows, it'll be very simple. I got my favorite Wet n Wild Color Icon pencil in a Seema Brow Now. I have a small one and a short one. Small one and a short one. A short one and a long one that I'll be using. These are my favorite for lining my brows. And then I'm going to pull back in that Kat Von D mix that I put together from a powder, because, this Jason Wu brows powder is a little bit light. So if I mix these together, I will get a good color, because this is a little bit, it's coming off more ashy on camera, but it's not as ashy in person. It's still got, it's cool, but it's not as cool as it's coming off on camera. And I can mix these two together to go in the front part of my brow, and then mix these two together for the rest of my brow to get the depth that I want. And I got this in a BoxyCharm drop box. I don't know if this comes in other colors. I'm sure it does, because this one is in Eddie. I think Jason Wu is sold at Target. I haven't been to Target in quite a while. So when I go out this weekend, I will be going to TJ Maxx, because I have to pick up some things and a couple other places. So maybe I'll run into Target and see if they have this in a deeper color. But those are my brow products. I forgot to mention this other moisturizer. My moisturizer. I don't think I mentioned. No, I didn't mention a moisturizer. Words are hard for me today. I apologize. But this is from Touch in Soul. This is their Pretty Filter Waterful Glow Cream. I like this packaging. It looks so high-end, but it's a nice plastic, which is fine. And This is how it looks. It looks so luscious. It has like a floral scent, but not too floral, because I don't like things that are overwhelmingly floral. So I will be using this as my moisturizer. For my concealers, I'm gonna pull back in this CoverGirl instead Simply Ageless. It's almost done. You can see right there, that's all that's left. So, and I took the little poofy off. It had one of those little poofs on it. I don't like those, so I just pull it off and just, you know, wind it up. So that's how much is left. So that'll be used up, and then I will mix it with my Tarte Ultra Creamy. This one is in Deep. There's still quite a lot in there, so I will mix that together, and then I will also mix in my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This one is in Deep Caramel. In the regular one, I am in Cinnamon, but the cinnamon in the hydrating and the cinnamon in the regular are two different colors. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but I will be using this because this is basically almost brand new. So those are my concealers. For my foundations, I have the Catrice HD Liquid, and this one is in Toffee Beige, which is a little bit too red. I bought this one and another one in 2020, and you couldn't go and test them out. Plus, they didn't have testers for Catrice anyway. So I ordered online, and the first time I ordered it, it was way too light. And then the second time I ordered it, it's way too red. It's hard to do foundations online, but I made it work. I just mix them with other ones. So I'm using this one, and it is currently down to here. And then I brought in this Almay. This is their Smart Shade Skin Tone Matching Makeup in Deep Like Me. Got this at my local Myers. It was on clearance. I don't know if it's a reformulated one. It's kind of the same thing. I got it from Influencer, and it's supposed to match to your shade. This, as you can see, it looks very gray. It looks very gray. That's what it looks like. And then it's supposed to match to your shade. And it does match pretty well. But the coverage is very, very light. It's very sheer. And I like a medium to full. I like a medium that I can build up to full, but I mostly like a medium. So on my hand, you can see it there. It's very nice. It evens out the skin tone, but it's just very light for me. So this, I'm going to just mix with this, which I have already done. As I said before, I put it in my little container with my LA Girl mixing pigment. I need to get another one. Next time CVS sends me a coupon, because they send them to me all the time, I will be getting another one. So I already have it mixed up and ready to go. But those are the foundations. For powders, we're bringing out the Airspun again. I love this, and the smell is so nostalgic for me. It smells like the makeup my mom used to use. My mom only wore powder and lipstick. She didn't do all that other stuff. But the powder she used, it smells just like Airspun. It wasn't Airspun, it was a different brand, but I love this so much, and it will last you forever. It comes with a poofy. And the smell just takes me back to her getting ready for work. This one is in the Translucent Extra Coverage. Oh, that smell just came up. Oh, memories. But this is the second one I've gone through, and this will last you forever. The one that I had before lasted me for at least a year and a half, if not more. So I picked up another one, which is a little dirty. Wipe her off. But yes, I love the Airspun. And then I have the Laura Geller. This is the Baked and Brighten Color Correcting Foundation in Toffee. I have the one in Deep, but I couldn't find the one in Deep. So I got this, I think it was on a BoxyCharm, and they had the toffee, which is just a half of a shade darker than the deep. So I can still use this as a powder. Not that much difference. Not that much difference at all. And I have gone through the deep one. I think I've gone through a travel size and 2 large size, and I think I'm on my 3rd large size. So this one was nice because I don't think you can get this anymore. I used to get it on QVC. I'm gonna have to go back on QVC and see if I can find the deep and just get one more backup. Hey, gotta be prepared. But these are my powders for May. Okay, for my contour and bronzer, I'm gonna bring in this Full Spectrum CoverGirl foundation in Deep Cool 4. Gonna use this as a powder contour. Again, I got this at Dollar Tree. This will be a good powder contour. It's not too red, and it blends out really nicely. And then I'm also gonna bring in the ColourPop. This is their Paradise City Super Shock Bronzer. I use this as contour, and it is very nice as well. Nice and creamy. See the difference in those? And then for my bronzer, I'm using this one from Be Pure. This was from the dollar store. It's supposed to be a little donut. Does not have any colors on it. But this, I know it looks kind of light, but it'll blend out my contour, because that's what I use bronzer for. It's just to blend out my contour. So that is the bronzer and contour for May. For blush and highlight, I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon in the old packaging. This is the Mellow Wine. Very pigmented. This is soft. So soft. Finely milled. I have the Mellow Wine. And then I have this new one I got from LA Colors. The new Glow Blush. This is in Peachy Keen. This one is a little bit warm. It's got a little bit of coolness to it too, more peach. And it's got a sheen to it. Look at that. It's a glowy blush. So this one's matte and this one's a glowy blush. And then I also brought in the ColourPop Darling. This is from the Tinkerbell collection. This one is a little bit warm and it's a glowy blush too. Very peachy. Very pretty. So those are my blushes. And then for highlight, I decided to bring in my old e.l.f. baked ones because I was looking through my drawers and these were in a different drawer. I'm like, why aren't these with my the rest of my highlighters? So because I rearranged some things in my drawers, so I put them with the rest of my highlighters, and I have quite a few of these. This one is in Pink Diamonds and this one is in Apricot Glow, so a warm and a cool. These you can also use wet. And I just wipe this off so it is damp. So these are baked, so they would go good damp. That's the apricot one. That's so pretty. And these were, when I got these, I think these were $2 at Walmart. I don't know if they're still $2 or $3. This is the Pink Diamonds for my cool tone. Look at those. So those are absolutely stunning. So those are my blush and highlights. Okay, so for my eye, for my mascara, liquid liner, pencil liner and eye primer. I have the YC Collection eye primer. I just got this in a box. It is a neutral color and it is very creamy, not dry, very hydrating, and it just kind of disappears, which is nice. It doesn't have a cast, so we'll try this and see how it is. For my pencil liner, I have the Ioni liner from the Dollar Tree in black, very creamy. This reminds me of the Essence Extra Lasting. I'm gonna have to get a backup of this. The Belle and Argent Fine Print Liquid Liner. This is a felt tip. It's very black. Since their brow gel was empty when I got it in a box, we will see how this works. And I'm also using the lip balm too. And then the CoverGirl Lash Flash Volume. I had a mini of this and I fell in love with it. So I decided to get a full size, and I think I got this with a coupon from CVS. So I like this. Mascara, this is in very black, so I got a full size, so that's my mascara. And then the pencil liner, liquid liner, and eye primer. Lastly, I have my setting spray, which is the Professional Super Setter. This thing is freaking awesome, especially in humid weather that's coming. It hasn't gotten here yet. It's still in the 50s and 60s, but this is great. If you like the all-nighter, you will like this. And it is a long-lasting setting spray. Great mister on it. It's about right here right now, so it'll probably be down here when I'm done. But this is a great setting spray. I need to get a backup of this. I had a mini of this and I fell in love, and then I saw this on I think it was in a Boxy Charm drop box, and I had to get it. So that's my setting spray. Okay guys, so that was my project pan for April into May. I did use up quite a few things, and have some new things that I'm trying in May, and had some that I tried in April as well that I really enjoyed. So I have been doing Project Pan for almost 2 years now, and I am loving it because I'm going through so many things that have been in my collection for a while, getting things run through, discovering things that are in my collection that I haven't used in a while, things of that nature, and then finding out things that whether I still like them or not, and if I should keep them. So if you do Project Pan, let me know. I'd like to see your videos too. I like watching Project Pan videos, and I enjoy doing it. Some people say that they can't commit to using the same products every day. I don't mind, but I just, again, use different eyeshadow palettes or singles or whatever. I use different ones every day. I don't use the same ones every day because I do have a lot of them and I like to show them all love. So this is my way of showing some of my other products love, and also working through things that either, again, that I find out if I still like them or not, or use it up, things like that. So I appreciate everybody for coming. I thank you so much. You are very much appreciated. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.